Hi guys, and welcome back to Sparky About Movies. I really hope you've had an amazing week and are ready for this brand new weekend. Before we get into today's video, make sure to follow me on the rest of my socials, my Instagram and my Twitter, so you can keep up with the rest of my content journey. It's Film Friday, so we're going to be talking about some films, and why not talk about my top 10 favourite comfort horror films. I wonder if anybody can guess what my top 3 are going to be. If you do, comment down below. And whilst you're commenting down below, tell me what yours are. So, kicking us off at number 10 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, debuted 1974 by the director Tobe Hooper. The film follows Sally and Franklin along with their group of friends, travelling to their grandfather's house. They run out of gas and are soon tormented and chased down by a chainsaw-wielding maniac, along with psychopathic cannibalistic family. While searching up this film, I actually found out a fact that here in the UK during the 1990s, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was taken off the shelves and out of production, distribution, due to the theme of the film, the defenselessness of women, the threat against women. Apparently that wasn't liked, so it got banned. I thought that was pretty wild. I love this film so much. It never lets you rest for a moment. It never lets you have one moment of sanity or safety, and Leatherface will remain one of the most disturbing villains of horror for all time. I particularly love how the cinematography is so beautiful in parts, and then the ugly parts of the story begins and it throws you off course. You don't think a movie that could look so beautiful could also look so ugly, and I just think this film is an experience that everybody should watch. Coming in at number 9 now, we have Night of the Living Dead. This came out in 1968 by the director George A. Romero. Radiation from a satellite falls down on a town and starts to reanimate the dead. This then has the living trying to fight for survival. I remember one day waking up and finding that this film was on Amazon Prime for free. Bearing in mind it was 7 a.m. and I just watched it. I think I watched it twice that day actually. I adore this film. It is impeccable. The black and white picture and atmosphere grips you in its entirety, and I don't think anybody has come close to recreating what George A. Romero captured. The cruel and abrupt ending is still wounding and plausible today. The film is unsettling, it's ominous, and I just think it is one of the most superior zombie films in existence. Coming in at number 8 now, we have Wrong Turn 2003, which was created by Rob Schmidt. The film follows Chris and 5 friends who are stranded in the middle of the woods after their cars collide. Soon they are travelling deeper into the woods and realise that they are to meet an uncertain and blood-curdling fate. This film is quite literally a magnet to me. I will rewatch it whenever, however many times. The film is so fun, it's entertaining, it's creepy, it's gruesome, and you really like the characters, and you're really, scared of the unhinged cannibalistic rednecks in the woods, and it does kind of leave you feeling, do I really ever want to go camping again? Yeah. The franchise went downhill after this one. It's so safe to say that, and it's pretty clear. The sequel does have its pros, but this one is unmatched. Next, we have Cabin in the Woods, which came out 2012 by the director Drew Goddard. The film is about 5 college students who are taking a vacation to a cabin in the woods, but little do they know of the horrors that await them. This film doesn't care how bizarre it seems, because it knows you're going to enjoy the bloodbath, the imaginative and terrifying monsters, the idiotic yet fun characters and that explosive third act, yeah, this film is definitely one to watch. At number 6 now, we have Hellraiser. This came out in 1987 by the director Clive Barker. The film follows Frank, who's a sexual deviant and accidentally unleashes Cenobites and opens up a gate to hell. Insert Jesus wept. My love for this film has no limits. It's barbaric, it's seductive, it's imaginative, and unmatched in every sense of the way. Doug Bradley as Pinhead will never be topped. He was the perfect person for that role. And to be honest, I would quite happily take his hand and follow him to hell. After all, they do have such sights to show you. I actually recently purchased the Lament Configuration box because I love this film so much. It's a fun film, it's creepy, and it's just a really iconic experience that if you're a horror fan, this is the film that you should definitely watch. Also, no hate to the rest of them. I really like the whole franchise of Hellraiser, including the recent one. It took me a minute to get used to it, the difference of the Cenobites, the story, just things like that. But it is a good one, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Next, at number 5, we have Saw, which came out in 2004 by the director James Wan. 2 men awaken to find themselves trapped in a desolate bathroom, chained to the wall on opposite sides of each other, with simple instructions to kill the other. They find out that they are the recent victims of the Jigsaw Killer. I am still shocked that this film was shot and finished in 18 days. Lee Whannell and James Wan created something of a masterpiece. Saw continues on a downward spiral of emotion and pain, which is conveyed excellently through each distressing scene. Then it implodes with this excellent and unforgettable third act. With every rewatch, this film impacts me so much, so hard. The craft and the effort that went into making this film what it is so superior and so talented. I love this film, and yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites. Coming in at number 4 now, we have The Exorcist, which arrived around 1973, 1974, and was directed by William Friedkin. Regan starts to display very weird and bizarre behaviour after playing with a Ouija board. This then makes her mom, Chris, very worried and frantically searching for answers until she comes across priests who deem Regan possessed by demonic spirits. The Exorcist isn't just a horror film. This film does well to tackle family hardships, your belief in religion or the superstition, the unknown, and your strength really to understand things that are way out of your comfort zone that just seem so impossible to exist. Scary then and scary still, this film makes me weak, nervous, and each time I watch it, it gets under my skin. I will always say that when a film makes you feel something, that's a film. It's done its job, it's done its purpose, and this film does that for me. It is amazing. It's one of my ultimate favourite go-to horror films. I love it so dearly, and I just think it's a perfectly done film. It has so many layers, so many elements to it instead of just being a horror and paranormal, and I just think that is completely fantastic. Next at number 3, we have Evil Dead 2013, directed by Fede Alvarez. I'm so excited to talk about this movie. So we all know 5 friends stay at a cabin to help their friend detox from drugs. But little do they know about the book that's in the basement. Curiosity gets the best of one of them, and then they unleash the dormant demon. Who doesn't love possessed creepy girls mutilating themselves and everyone around them? But seriously, this film is unhinged chaos. It's so bloodthirsty, it's gruesome, it's nasty, and also at times quite funny. I just think this sequel holds up very well in continuing what Bruce Campbell started. Also, a big shout out to Jane Levy and Shiloh Fernandez, who do amazing in their roles. I'd really like to see Jane Levy in more horror. Her character as Mia was sensational. Right at number 2, we have Halloween 1978, directed by John Carpenter. Did you guess it? Did you guess it? On one Halloween night in 1963, 6-year-old Michael Myers brutally murders his 17-year-old sister, Judith. He is then incarcerated, but after some time manages to escape, obviously. He then makes his way back to Haddonfield to create more killings. Halloween inspired millions of imitations and spanned multiple sequels. It clearly established a very dominating presence in the slasher franchise. The Shape is a being of nightmares who created that signature head tilt. The sinister score and the frightening concept of this movie just set the bar so high, and I will forever be devoted to this franchise and this film in particular. Halloween is executed with heart and style. It is successful and quite literally the daddy of all slasher films. We've finally hit number 1, and if you haven't guessed what it is, shame on you. The number 1 spot belongs to none other than Scream, which came out in 1996 by the director Wes Craven. Sleepy town of Woodsboro has a killer in their midst who has seen one too many scary movies. This serial killer taunts and stalks his victims with trivia questions and then rips them apart. Who is it? We don't know. Could be anybody. I will never get tired of this film. I will know this film off by heart even when I am 90 years old, decrepit, drooling in my tea, staring at the window. I will think of Scream. I just love this film so much. I think Sydney is one of the best final girls we've ever seen. I also believe Ghostface is so efficient at eliciting fear and actually is quite terrifying. Stu and Billy are so iconic for their roles and their deliverance, the motive, the purpose, the drive, the insanity that's on their faces that they perform with. It is just gripping. It's entertaining, it's fun, you love all the characters, you really enjoy the story, it's so rewatchable, and I think the whole franchise is epic. Now I know Scream isn't for everybody, but to me it's my baby. Like, it is my go-to film always. It's definitely in my holy trinity of movies. I could not live without this film, and I am very glad it was created, and I'm very glad that it is still going. It's still delivering amazing content, I guess. You know, it's still creating a buzz, and yeah, I Scream forever. That'll be all, folks. We've come to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this talk about my top 10 comfort horror films, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Maybe tell me about yours. Do you have a top 10 comfort horror list? I'd love to know. Until next time, guys, make sure to follow me on the rest of my socials, my Instagram and my Twitter, so you can keep up with my content journey. I will see you next time, guys. Stay safe, happy and healthy. Bye.